Me, I am a memoir. I am a memoir. Going deep in the regular verse. To the regular. Regular.
Hello, Emily. Welcome back to the Regularverse. We're so sorry. We were like, this is good. We're going to do this in one episode, and we didn't.
No.
So we are back this week for some more regularity, just to find out what was there anything worth taking back to the real world from the Regularverse? Don't know. We'll find out.
Getting the lowdown on the down low. Our next song is Open Off My Love, which also has a Spanish version, written by Kira Lawrence, Daryl Digger Branch, and Lance Un Riviera. Digger and Un aren't their real names. They're in inverted commas. And it's produced by Digger and Un. I will have to say about this one that I'm very frustrated that the synth horns are back. Like, I just want real horns. Like, come on. By the way, the synth horns are the most interesting part of the song. And the Latin piano bashing. I didn't mind the
I actually
tinkly.
think the bridge is the most exciting part of the song, because that surprised me that she had a bridge.
Yeah. It's you know what it is? It's a substandard pop song, and this kind of Latin flavour is underpinning it and kind of making it sound more interesting than it actually is.
And that's why I like it.
The other thing I found frustrating is it's a lot of J.Lo saying things. Like, she's just like, I'm going to the shops. Just doing up my shoelace. I look really good in green.
It's my lucky colour.
It's so weird. And then she hits that sustained note that sounds so pitchy that I'm like, why wouldn't you tune that?
Oh, I don't remember where it is now.
It's like about 2/3 of the way through. The Spanish version, I have to say, is more tolerable. Like, maybe because I'm not listening to her say lists of things. It's kind of
I didn't notice the list. It's so funny.
It's just like she just seems to be saying stuff.
I think I was just excited that there was something happening in
right.
the song.
Yes.
So, like, for me, of the album tracks, like, so the non-singles, this is the one so far that I would say is the best of the lot, because I can actually move along to it.
Yep.
And again, maybe that's the dancer part of me.
I think, and also it's the kind of Latin flavour. It's the kind of flamenco-y, you know.
You feel fancy.
Yeah, it's the horns. But, you know, like, if you want horns and tinkly Latin piano, like, Let's Get Loud has got all of that going on. Like,
that's
and
true.
in spades.
This isn't single worthy.
No.
But it's definitely better than the other album tracks.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised that there was a fun bridge, just because, you know, it's going along and you're like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh, they actually did something here.
I think that's when she does the terrible note.
It might be. Maybe I was too excited. The only problem is then they just repeat that for an hour and a half. And that was my issue. Whereas
going.
In the Spanish version, they don't. They actually... And they did a different, because probably my least favorite part of the whole song is that in the opening things, there's like a giggle and then she goes, ooh. Whereas in the Spanish version, there's no ooh.
No.
And so it's better.
Same
The
as there's
intro's
there's no kind of attempt at sustaining that note as well, I don't think.
Yes.
Like it's kind of high, like it's out of her range.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like this high sustained. It's like,
I don't remember it.
Sounds like she's fallen down a well.
Maybe she did. Little Jenny fell down the well.
Jenny in the well. So I'm Real. What percentage do you think she sang?
So I've given 2 percentages, because I think English is maybe mid to high low, at about 70%. Mm-hmm. But I think she sang all of the Spanish.
I think she sang both. It's just, I think she's, even though English is her first language, I think she's more confident singing in Spanish.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like,
because we touched on this with Celine.
Yeah, Celine is so much more confident and amazing in French, but that's her first. That's her
language, first. Yes, that's true.
Which is weird that you know. But I guess, you know, I think Because, J.Lo said she was taught to speak English from a young age, but I'm guessing she learnt both at the same time. So maybe she's more comfortable, I don't know, singing in Spanish. But, I'm going to say high-low for both. But because it's not good. Like if it sounded really amazing, I'd be like, oh no, that's a no-no. That's a low-low.
That's a low-low.
So what's your score? Are you pro-low or no-low?
I feel like we might be having our first split. I have gone for a pro-low.
A pro-low. I am definitely no-low. No.
On both versions?
Low, yeah. The second one's more tolerable, but it's not good.
I thought more tolerable was as good as we could expect.
No, well,
that's what my family says about me.
We've got Waiting for Tonight and If You Heard My Love and Let's Get Loud. Like, there are some fun songs on here.
That's true.
One of which is not our next song, which is Promise Me You'll Try. Written by Peter Zizzo, produced again by Rick Wake. And, I want to love a Rick Wake ballad. Like, I'll Always Love You from Taylor Dayne's first album is one of my favourites. Love Will Lead You Back. Great ballad. Like, it's not like he doesn't know how to produce a ballad.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we are back in Paula Abdul Rush territory.
Maybe it's almost impressive how bad she is.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, wow. Like, even I can't
fix
not
this.
Even if we were two Lego blocks, not even no good. He's like, if we were two Lego blocks, even the Harvard University graduating class of 2010 couldn't make a decent song out of this.
I feel like Paula Abdul's got a lot to answer for. Like, I think Paula Abdul has convinced Jennifer Lopez that if you can dance, you can sing, and B, because Rush Rush was a huge hit, even though her voice is really not great, that J.Lo's like, well, that's fine. I can sing about as good as that.
Yeah. I'll do that.
So, how did you feel about Promise Me You'll Try?
So when I heard the opening notes or the bars or whatever it was, my first thought was, oh no. And it didn't get any better.
Oh no.
Didn't budge from
and
there.
Then it just keeps going. It's like, oh wow.
I thought it was, I wrote that it's very Disney, but not one of the good ones.
Yeah. And what about the Spanish version? Like this one?
I personally thought the Spanish version was less cloying than the English version because I didn't know what she's saying. Yes. So it didn't sound quite as colour by numbers. But so I was like, okay.
For some reason, the Spanish version, I didn't find this with the English version, but with the Spanish version, it felt like the worst cover of Mariah Carey's Love Takes Time that has ever been attempted. Really? I'm just like, why are you trying to do this? Like, she can sing, and that was a hit.
That's funny. I didn't catch that, but it makes sense.
But it's like just towards the end of the Spanish one, I'm like, oh, this feels like it's got like a Love Takes Time vibe to it. Like, it's really strange. Like, not okay. Not okay.
Oh, Lord. This was not great.
I'm Real. What percentage are we singing here?
Oh, 100%. It was I went high-low.
High-low. Yeah.
High-low. She tried. Question mark?
I mean, a song like this, if you want to go, I didn't even sing that one. That was someone else.
Yeah, I don't know who sang that.
I don't know. I didn't turn up that day. They just released that on my album. I'm sorry.
Paula Abdul.
Oh, yeah, same, high-low. And what do we think of score? Pro-low, no-low?
I'm at no-low.
We're double fisting the no-low.
Yeah, sorry, low. Sorry, Fleck.
A DP of no.
DP no. It's a no-no.
Oh, dear. All right, we're coming on to our next track, which is It's Not That Serious. Apparently. Written by Rodney Jerkins, Darkchild, Corey Rooney, Lauren Dawson, and Jennifer Lopez. Produced by Jerkins, Dawson, and Rooney. Apparently someone else going to be able to producing it. Happy to take a writing credit. Not happy to be there where the button pressing was happening.
Sounds hard.
How do you feel about It's Not That Serious?
This is a very strange flip. Considering the rest of the album, it's the overzealous production that fucks me up.
Yeah,
if this was a stock standard R&B production, I think it would be a decent enough album track. And I've just written, I actually think her verses are the best part. And when J.Lo is doing a better job than Darkchild, there is a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I actually kind of liked what she was doing. Why is everything around her so wrong?
Well,
it didn't. Yeah,
I have possibly an answer for you. Darkchild apparently wrote this while he was at Whitney Houston's house. He was staying there for a while, working in her studio, writing some songs for her. She didn't want this one, obviously, so J.Lo's getting all the op shop gear
from the two greatest singers of their generation.
Yeah. They've gone, nah, not that. And she said, I'll do it. But you can't sing. That's fine. I feel like the flamenco guitar and the racing piano are enjoyable, but they sound tinny. Like you said, the production is terrible. It's like, why do they sound so tinny? And the regularity of the vocals is overwhelming. Like,
see, I didn't. Maybe because I was so thrown off by the production, the vocals didn't bother me here.
Yeah, but it feels like no one's bothered to process her vocals or the piano or the guitar because they think, oh, no one's going to be listening to this album at this point. This is just going to go down the end. Like, fuck it.
And I believe at this point in time, not that they weren't using auto-tune, but it wasn't spoken about.
Yes.
And I don't think it was widely used. It was around 98 was believed, wasn't it? And that's the first time. And they were saying it was a vocoder, which it wasn't.
No. No, it was they basically tried to stretch her voice between two notes that it wasn't meant to go to, and so it makes that weird sound, and it's hilarious.
But they were like, it's a vocoder, everyone, not an auto-tune. That doesn't exist.
Yeah. So
I don't know, maybe they just were like, yeah, fine. It's track 11.
Let's not spend any more time. It does feel like that, doesn't it? Let's not spend any more time on this one. We're done. Yeah, it's done. I was
shocked. I'm like, I think she's done a better job than everyone else has on the track, and that's not okay.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if Whitney got her hands on it?
Right.
Amazing. So
I don't even think Whitney could have saved "Promise Me You'll Try" that.
No one could. This is a special op shop version for J.Lo. So Unreal, I'm guessing you think this is a high-low because you said it sounds like like they've done nothing to it.
I went for a mid to high-low. I think there was some other bits in there, but mid to high-low, right. I think.
Mid to high-low.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go mid because there was a bit of drowning at some points.
Yeah.
Like she was drowned frequently. But that doesn't mean she wasn't singing. But it does mean we can't hear her. So
constantly sing when I drown.
Yeah. And what's your score? Is this a pro low or a no low?
I'm sorry, it has to be a no low.
A double no low.
Double no.
There's a lot of double no lows happening. Like the pro lows are few and far between. I told you I wasn't as pro low
as everyone thought.
I know, but how could you be pro low about any of this shit?
Right. I think as time goes on, there's more auto tune, which helps.
Yeah.
In her other albums. So we'll be like, oh, this sounds great. I don't know who it is.
I don't know who sounds great. But it's good. Okay, our next track is Talk About Us, written by Corey Rooney on his Todd, produced by Rooney and Dan Shea. It's not quite a ballad, is it, this song?
See, I thought ballad. But it's the ballad that Britney has on her first album.
Yes.
Like it's that stock standard.
Email My Heart.
Yes, it really is. Everyone's done it. Like,
you know what? This is a song that I think could be a tour de force with a decent singer. Like this could be
really,
yeah. Like you could sing. Like, I mean, when I say decent singer, I mean someone like Gloria Estefan. Like
because she's so much better.
No, but imagine if she got her flat chords around it. Like she would like she can. You know, she's got a bit of meat to her voice. Gloria, like even the background vocals sound like they're holding back. Like everyone just feels like I'm not going to try. I don't want to embarrass her by singing.
Yeah,
by belting this song.
I think the whole thing's just a bit cliche for me anyway. Like I think it wouldn't matter who sang it. It kind of would just be like, it's an album filler track.
Also,
it's fine.
I've discovered Jenny's little trick, her regular trick. When the song is bad, start whispering so people pay attention to your acting and try not to notice you singing.
Yes.
I'm whispering, everyone.
I did say.
But what a great actor I am.
She did.
I'm whispering.
I said she felt more present on some of the ad-libs, so that would make sense.
Yeah, she was whispering. Look, I'm whispering. I'm a really good whisperer. I'm an actor. Listen to me act. Don't listen to me sing. I'm not good. I'm not good enough to get an Oscar, but I'm not good at singing at all. How would you feel if I told you that this was the first song recorded for this album?
I kind of feel like that would make sense.
Yeah. This was the first one.
It was?
Yeah.
I think you're going to be like, surprise, it was the last.
No, this was like Corey Rooney. This was a song he kind of wrote for her.
Interesting.
When they kind of were like apparently he'd written the song and she's like, I love it. And Tommy told us like, we'll go in the studio and do it now. And they did it like that day. Like that day.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Like this was done in a day.
Just whisper a little bit at the end.
Yeah, whisper at the end. That'll fix it all. So I'm real. Do you have a percentage of singing from
I've
the
got
J.Lo?
for an 85%.
85%?
So it's still in the high-low.
Mid to high.
Mid to high. Yeah.
Mid to high-low, I see. I reckon like there's a bit of, like I feel like if this is the first song, they've obviously realised, oh no, maybe we do need to drown her out during the choruses so people can remember them.
Oh, we should get those other. Yeah, we'll get those other people in
because they're not singing enough in the background. Like we need more.
Yes,
there's too much low
more
in this.
More of them, please.
So I'm about the same. What about the score, pro or no low?
I feel really bad. It's been like 3 no lows in a row, but yeah, it's.
Don't feel bad. This is what regular albums are like.
That's true. We're in the Regularverse.
We're in the Regularverse.
And I mean, let's be real. I'm a hard marker anyway, so this was bound to happen.
Yeah, this is a double no low. It's just double no lows all the way down now. Our next song is No Me Ames, or No Me Ames, as I like to call it. This is written by Giancarlo Bagazzi, Alejandro Baldi, Marco Fallagiani, Ignacio Ballesteros, who was the translator, because this was an Italian hit that was translated into Spanish.
Interesting.
Produced by Emilio Estefan Jr., Dan Shea, and Juan Vicente Zambrano. And it was a single, which means there's a video.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Fabnopsis. Marc Anthony's dead. Fabnopsis.
Dead. So Jen goes to a house with what looks like a doctor's bag, or maybe that bag Julie Andrews takes when she goes to be the nanny in The Sound of Music.
I have confidence.
Yeah, that one. She looks at Marc Anthony. Is she here as his doctor or his girlfriend? It's hard to say. He's blurry in the foreground and tries to teach her how to sing, but she won't listen. She's wearing a nice cardi and she's got curly hair for the first time because her straightener is busted. Marc yells at her from the curtains. Marc is sick, sadly, and J.Lo helps him stagger to the loo for a vom. And then puts him in bed, where she pats his brow with a damp face washer. He goes to sleep, so she sings out the window like she's having a cheeky fag. Then she remembers giving him chips and dip at a party. And then they have a fight in the forest and sit under a tree. Was there something wrong with the dip? Jen lies with him in bed, even though he's sick. She's going to catch COVID or gastro, whatever he's got from that bad dip doing this. Especially the way she's letting him kiss her on the neck. Oh, he's passed away. That dip must have been really off. She goes and lies on his grave in her black veil and leaves some flowers. She mourns through a key change, and now he's an angel and follows her out of the cemetery. The end.
That's beautiful.
It's really sweet.
I actually liked the video because she's acting.
She's acting. I know. Well, she's got acting. Unstraight hair. Like, that is a big stretch for her at this point in her career.
Yes. Yeah. That means she must be acting.
She's wearing a cardigan. Like, she's covered up.
Yes.
She's not wearing just a bra and a pair of tracksuit pants, which seems to be her look.
Yeah, that's the thing. I also have a theory where, because this is before she married Marc.
Wait, well, she's rooting Diddy at this point.
7 years. Yeah.
She's getting diddled by Diddy.
Diddled by Diddy, exactly.
She's getting diddled.
And I feel like, oh my God.
I don't know.
This is a lot. So I feel like what's happened is because a lot of people are like, oh my God, she's, visually, way out of his league sort of thing, blah, blah. I was like, I know what's happened. They're like, okay, we've got them playing a couple in the video. What we'll do, we'll make it that he's dying. and that's why he looks like that. And so that's why he didn't used to look like that when they met.
I think he's quite attractive.
He was beautiful
Marc
like
Anthony.
her. I think he's actually attractive as well.
hot.
People, everyone has different types, I suppose, but a lot of people don't think he's attractive.
Oh, they're wrong. They made some beautiful kids.
Yeah. And I will say one of the things, because he's obviously a considerably stronger singer than she is.
And famous
but I actually,
at this point.
And yes, I actually think she tried to show up for this, like in terms of it should sound a lot more contrasting than it does, which is a good thing, if that makes sense.
And also to your theory of she can only sing things she's already heard. This is a cover.
Yes.
Even though it's in Italian, she wouldn't have known what they were
Yeah.
singing, but she would have known the tune. But yeah.
Name that tune. That was how they got these songs. It was just they played a game of name that tune. And if J.Lo could name it, she got it.
So here's what I wrote about this, which was Marc Anthony can sing. He's great. Yeah. It sounds like he's trying to encourage her and she's almost getting there. And just when she almost gets there, he comes and shows her a bit more how it's done. But like every time she goes up a notch, he goes up a notch higher. And it's like, and she's never going to reach that. It's not a bad song. I have no idea what they're singing about, but it sounds very cute. This would be better without the singing lesson if he was just allowed to run with it. Like
just
imagine
let him do the end.
Without her in it, it would have been a much better. And it's not like it's not like I hate her. Like I want her to be better, but I just feel like the shocking regularity is just overtaking. Like I just don't think she has it in her. Like every time he takes it up a notch, she's like almost getting there, and then it's like, no. And when I said, so that's what I wrote about it, and then did some research on this album, as is my job now that I'm the boss of regularity. Jennifer said, meeting Marc on that first album and me looking up to him so much as a singer and him saying, you have a beautiful voice, don't be scared. They could tell I was insecure, but there was something there and they wanted to bring it out in me. And we did through the process of making the album. He was trying to teach her how to sing in this song.
He was trying to teach her. That's interesting.
Yeah. That actually happened. Like, that's what I thought it sounded like. And that's,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely the best ballad from the album.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, without question.
But imagine if he wasn't on it. It would be annoying and awful.
I think the energy is between them.
Yeah.
Like, I think it is that back and forth. And that's why I was like, and again, I mean, thankfully, I think the video in this one, and I didn't say it about Feeling So Good, but I thought the Feeling So Good video was cute. It was just the song I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I think this one, I was like, I like that they're telling a story, and I like that she's allowed to show him how to act a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
But
he also was an actor. Like
was he?
Yeah. He's
she did say
been in a bunch of stuff. He was like a huge, like Luis Miguel. He was like a massive deal.
Right.
But just not on our radar because he didn't sing in English.
Yes.
But I've seen him in a film with Dakota Fanning's doing a better job than him, and she's 8. But with him, and he's married to Radha Mitchell, and Dakota Fanning's their kid and gets kidnapped. It's a Denzel Washington film. It's really good, but kind of cheesy.
I think they did it, like J.Lo and Marc did a movie maybe while they were married together.
Yeah.
And she says that it's probably her best performance in any of her movies. So I'd be curious to see that. Maybe we will at some point.
And further to our earlier, butt story, or bottom story. Apparently, Marc and Jennifer Garner are fine. Like, they're the parents of kids, and they're like, the kids are getting along well. It's all fine as long as they're happy, we're happy. And it's like, okay, be nice about it then.
They seem like decent people, because I didn't Regular Garner take old mate to rehab even after their divorce. And I think Marc and Regular Low have always been on good terms.
Yeah. So I think everyone's just friendly. So
maybe they'll get married. That'll be fun.
Jennifer Garner and Marc Anthony. Just, I don't know. We were looking after the kids one day and it just happened.
Do you know what? That's exactly how Shania Twain met her now husband. Because her first husband, Mutt Lange, started hooking up with the best friend. And so the best friend's husband and Shania were both left devastated, and their kids were like, hey, you guys actually kind of have helped each other out of this, and we would love you to.
I went to a thing in New Zealand, and Mutt Lange had paid for it all to be like, conserved and not torn down. Like, weird.
Yeah, they owned property in New Zealand, and that's when Shania Twain, I believe, was in New Zealand when he was off in Switzerland banging
how very dare you.
And I love how angry Shania is about it. She's so angry. In her book, she wouldn't talk about very much because she's like, we've got a son. I don't want to
trash him
too much, the cheating bastard. But she was like, I hate her. She really went, I was like, oh, this is so good.
So horrible
this
about
is so good.
The former friend.
Yeah, because I guess she couldn't take it out on the husband, so I'm going to take it out on the,
someone's going to cut my wrath.
Yeah.
All right. As for how do we feel about the realness? I'm real.
I actually think this is real. I've gone for a high-low.
Yeah, I'm going to go a high to mid because I think there's...
That to me?
Yeah, I reckon there are like a lot of takes and a lot of him encouraging. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like sung her line for her and then she sung it.
Yeah, maybe. That's why she could sing it.
Yeah. And what are you giving the score? Is it a pro-low or a no-low?
I do like this song, so I've gone for a pro-low. Is it the best ballad ever? No. But I think by regular standards, it's a nice song.
Yeah, I think it's a decent song, and like because of him entirely, I'm going to give it a pro. But if he wasn't there, it'd definitely be a no. Like it was on the cusp of awe.
Yeah, fair enough.
The cusp.
I'm impressed
of
that
awe.
for the most part, we've pretty much been on the same page. Yeah. So there you go. We're the same amount of low of each other as each other.
It's been mostly doubles. Like there's been very few dissonances.
Yeah. And I'm pleased that there's been some pro because I was like, there are some songs on here I like. I hope that I'm not alone.
Yeah. Now we're into weird kind of bonus track territory, although it is on some versions of the album. Like,
so, and because there was, even when I put the list together, there was a remix of No Me Ames, that's the Tropical remix, which is the worst song I've ever heard in my life.
It took charted on the Billboard Tropical charts.
Oh my God.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
That's amazing. And that, the one we did was the single, and it's a nice enough track. And then they've just it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I hated it. But it was a remix. So
it was fun. Like, again, Marc Anthony's voice is enough to cut through any of that crap. Like, he's got a great voice. Like, he's a really great singer. I wonder
if they might do more together. I don't know.
Maybe. Cross our fingers. If we ever dip back into the Regularverse, people might hate this so much. We'll never do another episode.
We're doing it forever. No.
Leave us a rating on iTunes. Tell us how much you hate the Regularverse.
It was really
regular.
Great. No, I think they're going to love it because of how...
how many double no-lows we've got.
They're going to be like, oh no.
All right, our next track, bonus or not, is Baila, written by Emilio Estefan Jr., John Cicada, one of my favourite singers, Randall Barlow and George Noriega. Produced by Estefan Jr., Barlow and Noriega. And it was a single. It has a video.
Garrett Lee. I don't... God. Fabnopsis. What the fuck's going on, Fabnopsis? Help.
Jen has found a very old microphone that's not plugged into anything. What a blessed relief for the people in the studio.
That's how she knew it was hers.
She's dancing in a nightie. And then she's wearing her gym gear and is on the set of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or at least the lighting plot from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. She's had her hair straightened and repaired, you'll be happy to hear. They've put as much effort into this video as they did processing her vocals, which is nothing. There's a third set, a black and red one, and she's got her white gym clothes on and loose pigtails. Yeah, that's it.
That's right.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's all that happens.
Were you able to find out anything about this song? Because I feel that this might have been... Remember how Delta had that one song before Born to Try that they then pretended never happened? I think this might have been, because it was from Music of the Heart. This was for a Meryl Streep film, everyone.
Music for the Heart, for which Gloria was nominated for an Oscar for this music from, written by Diane Warren and Gloria Estefan singing, and this was what they backed it up with.
Yeah. I feel like they've gone, she kind of wants to get into sing. Oh, we'll pop her on that soundtrack and we'll do a little cute video. Oh God! But then they're like, oh no, we think we've got other people who want to work with her, so we'll do we'll just pretend that this never happened. And I reckon this must have been 98.
Yeah, possibly. Like it did not have like if it was released as a single, it did not chart anywhere ever. And that because I think Gloria's in that Meryl Streep movie, like acting, isn't she?
Possibly.
Gloria Estefan.
There's a lot of famous people.
But she definitely sang, like, I'm pretty sure she got nominated. Like, that's one of the 4,322 Diane Warrens that got nominated for an Oscar that she didn't win. Apparently, they're giving her one next year.
Yeah.
They're giving her the Lifetime Achievement.
Are they?
Yeah.
The sorry, you didn't get one. Here's one. Yeah. Meryl Streep, Aidan Quinn, Angela Bassett, Gloria Estefan, Jane Leeves, who I think was on Frasier.
Yeah.
Kieran Culkin.
Oh, he would have been
J.O.
7.
Sanders. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Music from the Heart, like that song was nominated for an Oscar, and this was not.
Do you know what's really funny? This is the second song on that album. So she's in between Gloria. Apparently, NSYNC was on that song, and then the next song is Aaliyah.
Yeah, it's a decent album. Like it had,
Sebastian Bach was not there, as you do.
Oh, like you do.
Macy Gray, who's cancelled. Anyway.
So how did you feel about Baila?
So I just assumed this was a cover because it sounds like a song that you've heard before. I like the idea of it, but it is so flat. Not just her. No. It's not just her that is flat.
Well,
the whole thing is flat and it shouldn't be.
It's written by Gloria's husband who, necessarily writes songs for her flat voice. So...
Right.
Like, imagine Gloria could have belted this. Like, this would have been a great...
this could have been Let's Get Loud in terms of production. And it just wasn't.
Do the Conga or the many other...
Yes, yeah. But I will say, like Feeling So Good, this was one that kept getting stuck in my head. Yeah. And I kept thinking, maybe I was unfair. But then I listened again and go, no, I was right. But why is it in my head?
All I've written is, this is horrible. Like, what if Waiting for Tonight and Let's Get Loud had a baby and it was missing a head?
But you know what? They didn't put it on the album. So they did care.
Yeah.
They did care
eventually
after
put it
all
on the
that.
album.
Yeah,
so
somewhere.
I'm Real. What percentage do you think J.Lo contributed to this particular number? Vocally.
I've gone from mid to high-low because there are other people singing.
There are a lot of people singing. Like, she's been drowned out a bit. So I'm going to go mid. And you're going mid to high. And pro low or no low?
Oh, absolutely not.
No. If we could, can we give this a triple no low even though there's only 2 of us?
Yeah. This is the depths of the Regularverse. This is the seed that created the rest.
This is the worst ever.
And I think what's frustrating, it could have been really fun, and that's why it's like, but she really didn't even pretend to sing on it.
No,
let's make all the rules.
Oh,
okay.
It's so awful. And that video is so terrible. Like, I've never watched a video that was very budget.
Maybe it was like, that Gloria song did well. We'll just put that other one out. We might get a hit.
Oh, no.
She hadn't learned to act in her videos yet.
No. Like, she couldn't even pretend that microphone was plugged in.
She didn't know that they could plug in.
No. She had no idea what they do.
That's not on her.
It is a little bit. All right, on to the theme from Mahogany, Do You Know Where You're Going To, written by Michael Massa and Jerry Goffin, like 2 of the greatest songwriters of all time. Yeah. Produced by Dan Shea and Corey Rooney. Finally, we have the direct comparison to Her Royal Highness Mariah of Carey, who did cover this song. It's a Diana Ross song from a film that Diana Ross starred in called Mahogany.
Yeah, it's a theme from that.
And how do you think J.Lo comes out in the vocal battle between Mariah and J.Lo in this direct comparison?
This is what's interesting because I'm on record as saying I actually like this song sung by thin vocalists.
Yes, you are.
Because there's something that's very childlike about it.
Yeah, because Diana Ross has like not a very strong voice. Like she's got a high kind of, it's not, she doesn't have a big belt.
You could really say that, J.Lo is kind of the Diana Ross of the 2000s in terms of very much there about the look and the dancing and the charisma more than the singing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but Diana could hold a tune. Like she didn't need the Supremes. Like she went off on her own and was fine.
we love some Upside Down.
Yeah.
That's why J.Lo was like, no, the Supremes can just be my backing vocalist and we won't acknowledge them.
Let's not even have that fight.
No, I won because I'm pretty. And if I'm completely honest, I never particularly liked Mariah's version because she's too good a singer. It didn't make sense to me. So if we're talking specifically vocals, obviously Mariah wins every time. Yeah. It's not a competition. Yeah. But if we're talking versions, I think I never particularly liked Mariah's version just because it didn't feel like it suited her. And I don't hate this because it's the same song that Diana did. It's just the same. They haven't changed. They added a couple of guitar licks. Yeah. So it's a difficult one, I think, because it's maybe the one song that I would prefer the J.Lo over the Mariah. But literally any other song in the universe, I would pick Mariah.
You're dead to me. Yeah, no, for me, the regularity is overwhelming. It is ordinary. And it's such a great song that I just, like, this is the thing, like, Diana Ross's vocals are, like, she's a confident singer. She doesn't have, like, the crazy range of Mariah, and she doesn't have the power and, you know, she's not able to kind of change it up from strong to weak, but, you know, she can sing. Like, she's got a decent voice.
She has a pleasant voice, I would say, is probably the way I would describe it.
But she's, you know, she knows how to use it, and and this is such a great song, and she sings it beautifully. Whereas I think The Low has, like, just barely makes it through. Like, you know, again, like you say, she seems to be better at singing songs that she's heard.
Yes. Yeah. I heard this one. I can do this.
Yeah, and it's better than some of the other ballads, which I will definitely say it's better than a lot of ballads on this album.
I agree. I think this could have replaced some songs,
but
on the album,
equally, it's ordinary. And I think that's probably why you like it, is because it's.
I think it is. I think that's exactly it. There's a charm to it. That's that little kid singing on the playground. That's how I.
But no, I wouldn't
categorize it.
I'd much rather someone who knew what they were doing. Got to go.
But what they do, take out the regular version out of the Diana and Mariah. Do you have a preference?
I think I prefer the Mariah just because it's got a bit more. Like, I always liked the Diana one, but I think for Michael Massa songs, like, I just think sometimes you need a stronger vocal. Like, I think the best Michael Massa that Diana Ross does is Touch Me in the Morning, like, because she really does kind of take a run at that. Like, she really attacks that song. Yeah. My favourite Michael Massa song, I will have to say, though, is All at Once by Whitney Houston, which is a fucking ball terror. Like, that has a key change that will actually make tears spontaneously burst from your face.
Heaven. I forgot to mention that we actually had a key, like you said, key change in No Me Ames. I mean, you know, Regular's first key change.
Regular's first key change. Sure, Marc Anthony was singing it, but it was there.
It's fine. She was in the room.
She was present. But yeah, I think Michael Massa and Jerry Goffin deserve better than what's been done to them here. So I'm real. What percentage of vocals do you think J.Lo was responsible for?
I think this was all
responsible,
her, so
I mean culpable.
Irresponsible. I think it's a high low on this one.
Very high low. I think she's murdered someone with this song. I'll play this at Guantanamo. And are you pro low or no low? I'm gonna guess.
I'm gonna controversially say pro low, but again, it's I know the limits of the song, but that's almost why I like it in a weird way. No, I don't know. No, I don't make any sense. I'm high. I'm so drunk right now. Oh my God.
Awful, and I can't stand you. All right.
You think I'm gorgeous. You want to kiss me.
All right. We're up to the final track, another bonus track. Es Amor, which is written by Guillermo Enrique Jr. Edgehill. That's a lot. Or Big June, as he's called.
Big June. You should have just said Big June.
Big
I know
June's
Big
easier.
June.
Frank
I don't know Big
Rodriguez,
June.
Jose Sanchez, Manny Benito, and produced by Big June, Frank Rodriguez and Jose Sanchez. And I have to say, I don't mind it.
Me either.
It's probably
I feel like this.
It's probably my favorite song after If You Had My Love.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it's a nice spot
I think it's
for her
kind of
voice.
sexy.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of drama to it.
Yeah. And she's not trying too hard.
Yeah.
Which I think is my problem.
Again, it's that comfort.
With Mahogany is like it sounds like she's trying and it's like, nah.
I can see that. I can see what you mean. When I should say, even though I'm pro-low on it, that doesn't. my Diana Ross is the one I'd listen to.
Oh yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I did. I thought this could have actually chop a couple of songs of those ballads off the album.
All of those ballads off. All of them. Every single one.
And put this on
and chop her out of the Marc Anthony one and still leave it on there.
She can be on my one, but we'll take her off your one. But yeah, no, I was quite pleasantly surprised because especially when you get like if we've done the album and there's some good stuff and there's some not so good stuff.
Yeah.
But when you get to bonus, you're like, oh, this could be not great. So to finish on this,
I know.
I'm like,
why was this not on an album? Nice. Like, this is weird.
I know. Apparently, it was on the standard version of the Spanish edition.
Oh, right. So
it was, in that territory.
Because, I got to say, the production, straightforward pop, like, great.
Yep.
Fun. The background vocals are supportive, not suffocating, which is weird because most of the songs on here, the background vocals are designed to make her disappear. Yes. And I have no idea what the lyrical content is, but it sounds fun. But the other thing I liked on this, the guitar sounded full. Like so much of the guitar on this album sounds tinny and processed and possibly not even a real guitar. It could have been someone stabbing away with a sample. But like, it's like it's a full sounding song. And I really I'm like, why isn't this there? Like this is I liked it.
Well, there you go.
I know.
I enjoyed it. I was, like I said, quite pleasantly surprised to get to the end. And when you get to bonus track territory, it's dangerous.
Oh yeah, I know. Look, Mariah's poisoned us before with some of her singing over the top of singing over the top of a Nintendo theme or whatever she was doing. Beyonce with a recorder. So I'm real. What percentage do you think J.Lo got through?
I've gone for 90%, so that's a high-low. Yeah. High-low range. She was there. Yeah. She showed up.
And they didn't drown her out in the background vocals. So, there's a lot of J.Lo. If that's her. I mean, she's singing in Spanish. It could be anyone.
Probably not you or I.
No,
but
not me. No, I can't sing in Spanish. I can't sing in English. As you will hear listening to the opening.
I can 70% sing in English.
And what about a score? Pro-low or no-low?
I am pro-low on this
am the
song.
same. It's a double pro-low.
Wow.
For Es Amor. Yeah, it's great.
What an interesting journey.
Yeah, it's been such a journey. All right, time for your overall thoughts of the album.
So going into it, I think just because, we've discussed what's that going to look like? I don't even know what that would sound like, as Mariah says. And I remember going in thinking this is probably going to be some strong singles and a bunch of filler. And then I listened to it.
And you were correct.
And there was, right. There was a couple of, there was a couple, like I said, that I'd go, oh yeah, that's pretty much. And then I went back and I was like, oh, but why is that song stayed in my head?
Decent songwriters working on this album.
Yeah. So there was a few hooks and stuff. And then once I listened to it again, I was like, no, I think my initial thing was good in that basically the singles are all pretty strong. And there's probably 2 to 3 other songs that I would say, yeah, I enjoyed that. And the rest are just kind of, oh, well, it would have been a really great 6-track EP. Yeah. Or what about
just a single with a couple of B-sides?
The other thing, I actually did appreciate that she threw in some Spanish mixes and actually maybe I haven't fully succeeded, but they've tried to give her an identity as a musician.
Yeah.
Like, it's not there yet, but the fact that they actually let's try that.
Yeah.
And actually that works better on this last song. And I appreciate that there was at least some thought and care where maybe I didn't think there'd be any.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and nothing that, to be honest, other than funnily that you say it was Feeling So Good. Feeling So Good is probably the only song that I would say sounds anything like something Mariah would do.
Yep.
So at this point, I don't feel like we're encroaching on that Mariah territory.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it's probably around the same par as many debut albums of that time, where it's the singles are the singles and the rest of whatever.
Yeah. It feels like, and it obviously the trajectory changed when the singles were hits.
Yes.
But finding out that one of them had been written at Whitney Houston's house and just not turned up on her album. One of them was offered to Mariah and she went, nah. One of them almost became a Michael Jackson song. Like, these were just a big fat package that were for whoever was hanging around and whoever Tommy Mottola had decided was going to be the next big star. Like, it feels like she lucked into a couple of great singles.
Yeah.
And the rest of the album is like, so much filler. Like, it's
there's a lot of filler.
Yeah, and like the production feels unfinished on a lot of it. It feels like it's like, I feel like the reason probably the Spanish language ones sound better is because they've been done later, and it's like, oh, actually,
she knows the song now.
No, but also the album's selling well. Like, let's take this chance to fix up some of the, bullshit errors we made by just not really giving a shit and thinking this is going to be some piece of crap that no one's going to buy. And, they've had a chance to kind of, tweak a couple of things. And that's why the Spanish ones sound so much better than the English ones, even though they are still very regular. But yeah, it's it just feels like a terrible shit half-assed package, and you've asked people to pay for this and you've put no effort into it apart from the 3 decent songs, and it's just like, I'm surprised that I liked so many of the Spanish language ones. I love Marc Anthony. Like, his voice just he's good. It was a really, like, it's sad that, the thing that I found the most exciting vocally in this album is someone else's voice.
I think it's sad that J.Lo did a better job than Darkchild on one of these songs.
That's true.
Darkchild, what are you doing?
He's phoning it in. Like, it was meant to be a Whitney Houston song. It was, And
I will say, like, as you said about, like, sort of get her sort of lucking into it, I kind of don't blame her. If someone said, hey, we've got a bunch of songs you want to do, why not?
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Oh,
you kind of can't hold it against her.
But that's what they did back in those days. It's like, like I said, she had meetings with, David Foster, Diane Warren, like all the big hit makers of the time. And, these are the ones she kind of settled with. But yeah, like even her, the Puffy song is like, ugh. But yeah, I think it's a terrible album that accidentally has a couple of good songs on it.
Sure. Accident, didn't mean it. Sorry.
Yeah. I think she tripped over and fell into a couple of hits, and
I'll take it.
What was meant to be basically vanity publishing for a movie star has turned into something of a career. She's done better at this than Nicole Kidman.
Oh, God, yeah. And maybe the thing that they weren't expecting was that she could sell it in other ways.
Yeah, and I think
I'm going to just dance the crap out of it and be, she seems likable enough.
The fact that, like, at least, 3 of her songs have a mysterious dance break in the middle of it that's not actually the song that you're watching the video of is telling.
And one of the things, actually, something that I was thinking about, I was like, I wonder if we're going to get to the end of this and actually see her more as a video artist. Because, like, I remember a few other, like, videos from later, and I was like, they were quite good. Like, I think she does put effort in there.
Well, yeah, and because she's a great dancer. Like, as she said in her blog,
Yes.
Yeah,
And she likes to wear green.
Yeah, she likes to wear green. And is she a better singer or actress? She's a dancer.
It's the Tim Robbins answer all over again.
It is.
I'm a dancer.
It's like, I'm a dancer. Oh, dear. So what is, if you can stand them, do you have a favourite song?
I think just for the pure joy of it, it's got to be Let's Get Loud. It's the one that it comes on and I just want to dance.
Yeah.
I think the other singles, I also enjoyed, but they're sometimes songs. Like, I don't always feel like waiting for tonight. But I feel like if Let's Get Loud comes on, I'm like, okay, I'm on the dance floor. What about you?
I did think that because Let's Get Loud was the one that I remembered the most until I heard If You Have My Love. And I was like, oh, that's right. I loved this song.
Yes,
and the production, I think the production on Let's Get Loud is a bit ordinary. And I think the production...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, when you really hear If You Had My Love, it's quite strong.
Yeah, it's got a great vibe to it. It's kind of, and it just kind of sets the tone for an album that is wildly disappointing as it goes along. But it feels the most, it feels like you could dance to it. It feels, and... Yeah, I was seriously tossing up between that and Es Amor, which was my next favourite song.
Yeah. How funny.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There you have it.
And what's your least favourite? I mean, this is going to be hard to choose.
I mean, it is a tie.
It is.
I have gone for Promise Me You'll Try or Talk About Us.
Oh, they're both terrible.
Because I feel like some of the others, there was something I could take away, even if it wasn't her, something in the production or something. But those are the ones that I'm just like, never again, thanks.
Oh God, there's so many terrible songs. I want to say Promise Me You'll Try, but then I kind of didn't absolutely hate the Spanish, but it was still terrible.
No, I agree. I did. We're talking the English version.
But I feel like, I do feel like, Promise Me You'll Try. It sounded like she was trying to do Love Takes Time. So that's definitely the worst.
Okay.
Definitely. Awful. Although we forgot how terrible Baila is.
Oh, that doesn't count as an album track. It's fine.
Okay, good. All right.
Come on, baby, break the rules.
So, overall, do we know her? Is it pro low or no low on the album overall?
I feel like looking at my scores, it's a surprise. I feel like we're pretty much 50-50 in terms of what I liked and what I didn't like, with maybe one or two undecided. So I've written that we're acquainted. Like, we're not best friends. If we saw each other at a party, I'd be like, how you going? How are the kids? All right, see you next year. It's maybe a New Year's Eve party and Waiting for Tonight's coming on. So I've gone for a score of a faint pro-low. I just whiff. Yeah. It's a whiff of knowing her.
I mean, I think the problem is the pros are very pro. Like they're, it's not just like, oh yeah, this one's okay. It's like, oh, great song.
Oh yeah, like this is a great
amazing
song.
Yes. And the lows are really low. Like they're
regular.
Oh, the regularity is overwhelming. Like it is like the voice is not very good. The production's a little bit, like no one's turned up that day and she's turned up and sang anyway.
I do feel like this journey is going to be a journey through auto-tune. It's like, where does the production really sink in? Like, I loved this song. So she didn't sing a whiff of it, but
but
it was fun.
I think they've let her sing too much of this album. So I'm going to have to say no low overall. Like the three good songs are not enough. And one of the best songs wasn't even on there.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? If we were just reviewing the Spanish one, I might give it a pro. Because
yes, I see what you mean.
Like the Spanish versions of all those songs are much better.
It's a DIY project.
Yeah.
I
could make a vaguely okay album out of this. But
10 tracks.
Yeah.
1 or 2 fillers. you know.
But still, no.
Fair enough. I was the faintest of prolos.
Yes.
Like, I'd buy it on CD, but I wouldn't buy the vinyl.
Yeah.
You know? Or I'd stream it, maybe.
And so talk me through this. We're renaming the album, yes?
Yes. Now that we've listened, I thought, obviously we know the name. It's on the 6th.
Yes.
But I thought, once we've listened to the albums, we'll be like, well, what would we have called it had we been given the chance? And so my rename for this album is called On the Fence.
On the Fence.
Because that's where I am. Because that's how I feel.
I'm imagining that right at the end of the Waiting for Tonight video where the champagne cork has popped and then she's up to her waist in possibly champagne or something. I'm going to call
Fingers
this
crossed.
Drowning in BG.
What does BG stand for?
Background vocals.
BV. I think it's a BG. Background.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, BGV. That's yeah.
Because
I would listen to that album.
She's deep in the background. It's overwhelming, and she's there's not much of her in the choruses.
Were you surprised that she was there as much as she was? I was.
I was surprised that I was like, oh, that actually sounds like her singing. I'm really upset about it.
She showed up that day. You just thought you'd have a really fun Ashanti album.
I did. I thought I was going to get some auto-tune bit of business that I could go, oh, this Melodyne's done some great heavy lifting here. It sounds great.
That's all right. That's yet to come. We're still in the 90s.
Yeah, we're still in the 90s. But also I forgot about how much I loved If You Had My Love. Like, that's a fun song. And that video is like confronting. Like, I felt like, I don't think she knew how much that OnlyFans and that kind of thing was going to become a big thing and how revolting it actually is. Because there are a couple of moments in that video where she slips her hand down into the trackies. And I'm like, what are you doing, Jennifer?
I know.
It's not okay. There's a child watching this. Like, we've seen it. So, yeah, it's very meh.
Yeah.
No, meh.
On the meh.
Get the fuck out of our podcast. Get the fuck out of our podcast. Get the fuck out. Just walk away. Walk away. You tacky regular bitch. Get the fuck right out of my face. Regular bitch. Oh, thank God we've gotten the fuck out of there.
I've already left. I'm going to bye.
The Regularverse is it's upside down and confusing, Posh. I don't know what goes on in there.
I've got a headache.
Oh, you've got a headache. I listened to that album and I'd never heard it before. So what's happening next, Mariah Monday?
Lamley, rest assured, we are not going back to the Regularverse next week.
Oh, thank God.
We're firmly in Mariah's world with some album rankings. So we'll be doing a little countdown of our favourite to more favourite-er.
More favourite-er. I love that. Yeah. As opposed to this last 2 weeks where there's been a lot of, I do not like this at all.
I don't understand. What? Who's singing this?
I don't know.
How did she sing when her microphone wasn't plugged in? It's incredible.
Not plugged in.
That is
Yet
a talent.
Still, we could hear the regularity.
But no, so that'll be fun. So yes, we, as promised, we're not staying forever in the regular world. Just little sojourns.
Yes.
When the mood strikes us, just to pop in, and just do our research.
Yes.
Do our shady research.
It's what they call opposition research, where we have to check out what the opposition is doing.
And it will help us until Mariah releases her next album or TV series. It'll help you get more regularity in your life. And we all need that.
I think there's another book. There's got to be another book, surely.
Yeah, and we need our bowels to be regular. And that's
do.
what we're doing.
You need roughage.
Yes.
You need regularity.
Yeah. You can't have peaks without valleys, guys.
Exactly. These 2 weeks have been our brand. The Metamucil podcast. It's like so Metamucil stupid. And Barocca all in one. It's good for you to just flush everything out. It's like a colonoscopy. It's all about the butt.
Exactly. It's all about the butt.
Oh, butt lines. All right,
And there will be more. I will say there will be more from that blog. So people, stick around.
Stick around. We're going to get more blogness. All right. I'll see you next Mariah Monday for our rankings. Oh, my God, exciting. All right. Bye, Lamely.
Bye.